and welcome to a commentary on the Pyramids map. This battle is going to begin with me willingly sending my... well, not selling them, but it's basically a massacre of my cavalry. And this was intentional. I had to actually get rid of my cavalry because the rules were max 2 cav and I had actually brought 4 cav, so I immediately messaged my opponent saying I made a mistake, and I basically deployed my chasseurs in front of their guns so they could have a field day with them, and this would basically even the playing field. Which would mean I wasted quite a bit of money on these guys when I could have got, I don't know, maybe an old guard unit, but I thought it was fair. Anyway, obviously I'm playing as the French. That's why my cavalry is going to be sent right forward, and I think I'm going to deploy them into columns to make it easier for the Ottomans or either the British to just pound the hell out of them and destroy them. But yeah, so not the best starts to any battle really. But on this hand we have my ally, the Prussian corps. His corps is pretty nicely formed, Silesian Schützen all around his front rank. In the second rank he has foot guards, with all the rest being musketeers. And in the rear, of course, he has Gebhard von Blücher, so the highest general I think the Prussians can take. I think he's a 9-star general. Life Hussars and Luthers of Fricourt, along with upgraded 7-pounder howitzers, so a pretty good choice of artillery. For me, I thought I'd mix this up a little and bring out 12-pounder round-shot artillery. I upgraded them so they'd be of some use, otherwise they can be quite inaccurate and frustrating. Other than that, I've brought four just regular Fusiliers of the line, 2 of them here, another brigade there, along with 4 chasseur regiments. And for my elite reserve of infantry, I have a regiment of guard seamen who are going to get completely disorganized by that Chevy Leger Lancer regiment just sifting through them. And on their left they have 18th Regiment d'Infanterie de Ligne, nicknamed the Brave. So quite a small reserve of infantry. I normally bring 3 or 4, but in this case I just thought 2 should suffice. 2 regiments is more than enough. And any day now, these guys are going to come under the very first volley. And just a few horses dropping from shrapnel, not too many. I think pretty soon the British 5-pounder howitzers are also going to open up on these poor fellows. Not a good day for them. We haven't checked out the British Corps. Over on here we have a brigade of foot guards, 2 regiments. The rest are mostly just regular foot regiments. Yep, foot regiments all around. I'm pretty sure he has rifles which are hidden, 4 rifle regiments which are hidden just in the first rank of his corps. And his 2 cavalry regiments are King's German Legion Light Dragoons, or no, not Light Dragoons, just Legion Dragoons. And that's the same on this unit as well, so a brigade of them. He's not brought a historical general, unfortunately. He has upgraded his 5-pounder howitzers though. And I think, despite being in not the best position, I think I'm already starting on his 5-pounder howitzers. And the Ottomans are going to deploy a gun on this slope, which is not going to be ideal whatsoever. I'm surprised these guys have actually taken so long to rout, so... How many howitzer units does it take to rout? Just 2 chasseurs de cheval. In column as well, not in line. But as you can see, the Ottoman corps over here is starting to push up on the left of the Prussian corps. They don't want to attack the center, where the Prussians will presumably have my support as well. and it's quite a steep
Our
climb.
men are running, sir!
And there goes my brigade of chasseurs à cheval. Wonderful, just wonderful. What kind of units does the Ottoman have? Nizam al-Sadid, always a good choice. Nizam al-Sadid light infantry. Nizam al-Sadid rifles. Nizam al-Sadid light infantry. What we realize further down the game is that the Ottoman player has actually brought one extra unit above the allowance of light infantry. So he actually has 5 regiments of Nizam al-Sadid, whereas the maximum is supposed to be 4. And that's basically me saying I'll keep one of my depleted units because they stop routing over here, and I only send one back in to get routed, and I keep the other one because that's fair. They've brought one unit above the allowance, and I told them I'm going to keep 1 unit above the allowance, and it's a pretty depleted unit in any case, so I think that's fair. And they thought it was fair, to be honest. I'm just crumbling buildings right now. I should be aiming at his men, to be honest. There are 10 units, 10 men in this regiment. How many? 4? Not too many. And actually some ricochet fire has actually come in on these King's German Legion Dragoons, so that's always good news. 3 or 4 of them. But some excellent positioning by these 9-pounder foot artillery. I mean, this slope is just perfect. Any incoming fire is very likely to just ricochet off that slope. And he has a nice angle on the musketeers in the Prussian center. Pretty much nothing is going to go on for the next minute or two, so I'll just I'll fast forward to when these guys redeploy. So these guys are going to redeploy these 5-pounder howitzers, and my ally very, very helpfully has actually already deployed 2 batteries of 7-pounder howitzers, so I'm not going to be absolutely getting bombarded with no response here. And he's already doing quite a bit of damage there. And this was the unit that I sent forward to get demolished. And you can see, yeah, they got demolished. But I'm going to keep the other one, the slightly less depleted one, 19 out of 45, whereas this was 17. And I got them back, so I'm not sure why they're coming back, but I think I confused a signal or a command with the other one. But they're going to get routed anyway. But that excellent positioning by his artillery is actually, he's managed to get some kills on these very valuable units, because you only have 2 cavalry units in this game, and they're going to be crucial. The less of something there is, a unit type, then the more crucial its survival is to your strategy. If you lose one unit type, then you lose a hell of a lot of flexibility. And you can see the Ottoman player is just really, really leaning down on his right. So we have a battle going on either end of the map, with the center being pretty much neglected, and no one's paying attention to the center. I actually neglected to check out the Ottoman Cav. The Ottoman Cav is just absolutely brilliant. And this is one of the best Lancer units in the game. Look at how medieval they look. Those nose guards, those Lancers, just brilliant. The Silatar Guard, I'm not sure what the other cavalry unit is for the Ottomans. It's another Silatar Guard. Again, 2 upgrades, 2 experienced chevrons. So, quite some superb cavalry. and that's one of his artillery pieces, and here he has the other one, the howitzers. These could wreck anything not in line formation over here, especially since there's no response that's going to come over here. All of the artillery is based on this section of the battlefield, and I really thought, since my ally actually gave his artillery to my side of the battlefield, I really should do my best to, maybe if I can, see an opportunity, sweep down and take down these guys, maybe sacrifice a unit. I think it would be worth it, actually. But at this point I was just going to get absolutely wrecked. In my first rank anyway. You can see that it's only been a few volleys, but already my chasseurs have taken quite a beating from his 5-pounder howitzers. They have a very nice elevation over our position, so it's no surprise there. And since I have pretty good artillery, I am able to respond somewhat, but it's a really lucky thing that these guys have shorter range than round shot. The round shot, it's mostly ricocheting off the edge, but some of them are actually getting through and doing quite a bit of damage to his infantry. And you can see I've already taken out 2 of his guns. 2 of his guns in that battery and 1 of his guns in this battery. And because of the short range of howitzers, the problem is you can't do a whole lot of damage. So my ally, I asked him if he could move his 7-pounders in range to target his foot guards, because these guys, they're going to be the most devastating units to face, especially with just regular fusiliers. I just didn't want to do that. I knew my flank could easily crumble if I attempted that, so I wanted to basically see if his artillery could put a dent in that elite brigade of foot infantry. Even if they whittled them down to 100 instead of 120, that's still something. At this point, I started to see an opportunity. As the Ottoman player was redeploying his men obliquely to the right, I saw that I actually might be able to just about sweep in and take out his howitzers, since they don't have any protection on their left flank, and that's it. That's my depleted chasseurs à cheval regiment coming down. And he immediately notices this, and that's why he's redeploying his Nizam-e-Sedit. And really, right there, he should have gone into square. He should have gone into square at that very moment, but he wanted to maximize his firepower and give a singular volley to absolutely destroy my cavalrymen before they even made it to his line. And my cavalrymen, just in the nick of time, they make it to his line just before they level their muskets, and absolutely just slice right through that like a knife coming through a cucumber, and they are right onto the rear of these howitzers, slashing and massacring these poor fuckers. Not a single one of them survives. And then they go after these Nizam-e-Sedit rifles, and they actually make it out alive, miraculously. I mean, that was just probably one of the most glorious cavalry charges I've ever ordered. A depleted regiment of chasseurs à cheval, only 17 men, came in, completely humiliated these poor Nizam-e-Sedit. They will never get laid in their lives again. Ever. Not after that humiliation. I mean, they would rather be cockholded rather than that. No, not even a shred of self-respect left after that. And completely massacred this howitzer unit, which could have been so valuable here. Then completely pounced on the rear of these poor idiots. Didn't do too much damage to these morons, but good God, what a beautiful cavalry charge that was. Probably my proudest moment in this entire match. I was really pleased with myself over there. Let's see. At this point, the British player realizes that he's not actually going to win the artillery duel despite his superior position, because we've just about concentrated every single piece that we have on this sector of the battlefield. And he's going to come down. You can see his light infantry. 1, 2... How many are there? I can't believe he's only brought 2. Mind you, he does have such a high number of infantry that he might have actually invested all of that money instead of 2 more rifles, just gone with more infantry. And the British infantry, the foot regiments, the regular foot regiments, they are the best in the game, so it's definitely not a bad investment. He has invested his money smartly. You can see immediately that he's coming for a left hook. He's sending his dragoons in first, and I actually anticipated this, so I have Garde Chasseurs à Cheval as well as these lancers over here. And I think I'm about to, yeah, I turn around my Garde Chasseurs as well as my 7th Regiment. And these guys are going to come in with a devastating charge. You can see these guys absolutely demolished in the very first few moments. And just on the right flank of these dragoons come the Garde Chasseurs. So definitely a good start to that cavalry battle for me. But in the rear, here come his foot guards. They are coming under fire from those 7-pounder howitzers. And I'm a little bit late to respond with my Guard Seamen and 18th Regiment the Brave. But I really need to get these guys onto my outer right flank. But I really needed to buy time, so I just charged in with my Garde Chasseurs à Cheval just to intercept these foot regiments and foot guards. I really didn't need these guys to come in and start firing and wrapping around my flank at all. So I actually break away from that fight, and my lancers come in and flank this foot guard regiment, which is excellent. And these German completely bamboozled. They have no idea what's going on. They were just completely decimated there. They're just going to rejoin the fight over there. Over here, let's not neglect this part of the battlefield. It's not as dramatic. It's mostly just good positioning by my Prussian ally and slowly but surely just destroying him. I'm not sure what he's doing with this Salatar Guard coming in. Just completely and utterly wasted that regiment. Mind you, this regiment is going to be much more of a pain.
Our men are running, sir!
And I think finally my cavalry do give way after an excellent performance there, which give me enough time to bring up my Guard Seamen and these foot guards. I think I'm going to get the first volley. Please tell me I'm going to get the first volley. Or maybe these foot guards. I actually prefer it. Oh yes. So perfect. And on their right flank is the Brave Regiment. So things are looking up for me.
The entire unit is dead, sir.
What entire unit? Oh, that's very brave, very courageous Chasseurs à Cheval Regiment, which took out that Ottoman howitzer. They were just utterly decimated by that Salatar Guard Regiment, so it's a shame. These guys are still focused on that Salatar Guard Regiment. If I only remember to just turn them around and turn them into canister shots, that would have been perfect. But you can see his foot guards, they've been far too depleted and they've just been run down by the cavalry, so they're just going to give way. Are these guys going to fire? A mediocre first volley, but the cavalry's done its damage. These guys aren't going to hold for much longer.
Fall back!
And that's it. Very easily routed, and it's actually me who's going to be dominant on this flank. So completely destroyed his left hook, and now I'm going to counter. He is coming with his general staff, and I'm actually going to respond with Marshal Soult. So a counter charge. This is a pure general's duel.
Our men are running, sir!
Both of them were full strength by the time they reached each other, so that should be interesting to see who comes out on top. And now I'm going to wrap around his flank over here. He did charge in his foot regiment here with leveled bayonets, completely took out 2 batteries of 7-pounder howitzers. So a very nice maneuver, just completely destroyed the center of this sector. And I'm forced to peel off 1 regiment over here and redeploy them to basically take care of these bastards over here. And I have 1 remaining reserve, which is also being deployed to this flank. Finally, do these guys know? They're still preoccupied with that sector of the battlefield. There was nothing much to see other than the Ottomans try in vain to push up onto this hill and get whittled down and destroyed, basically. And here we see that I have actually responded to this break-in by the center, and I'm wrapping around it to more than just contain it, destroy it, and then push them right into their own center. I'm definitely applying more than enough pressure on the British left, which is my right. And I do come off just about superior enough in that battle to come out with the majority of my men, actually. 10 out of 18. So good. Marshal Soot absolutely destroyed the other General Staff units. And here these guys go in for a bayonet charge against the rifles. And finally, as soon as I switch to canister mode and reconcentrate their aim, they're absolutely just completely shredded apart this flank of the British infantry as well. Pretty much the only remaining regiment of British infantry, and there's absolutely no hope. Frenchmen on their right, their front, their rear left, they can't do anything about it now. There's some very ineffectual fire coming in. These guys have only one battery left, and so do these guys. I mean, 1 gun in each battery, so reduced to 1/4 of their strength. Very good. And in this sector, it's mostly a mop-up operation, just like the other sector. Some Brushy Bazooks or Simic Janissaries. I think these guys are going to reform. These Beylik Janissaries are very good, but in terms of numbers, they're just... Oh my god, that was such a beautiful volley. Yeah, it's done. At this point, it's pretty much a 1 battle, but you definitely don't want to relieve the pressure.
Their general, sir.
Which
now
pressure?
They
Okay,
must break.
that's the general. Gebhard von Blucher just slew the... I'm not sure what's going on, general versus generals. It's like a battle of honor, like a duelists battle, more than anything. 4 out of 4, 2 out of 4, so 3/4 of my guns still operating. That's wonderful. And I'm chasing even my general, which actually missed these stakes by just a fucking inch. I remember that. I forgot to show it to you guys, but I remember this when I was charging the howitzers. I had completely forgotten about these stakes, and I missed them just by an inch. I was so lucky my men didn't get absolutely annihilated here. So some British stragglers just trying to make it out with those carriages over there, and just at the most inopportune time, these bastards over here stop routing. I don't need this now. I was trying to charge the rear of those 9-pounders, and I actually managed to convince them to abandon their guns, but the British infantry actually see me off over here, and I actually have to take refuge behind this declivity. And now they're surrounded in this little... What is this? Is this a village? This little settlement over here, whatever it is, on this hill. And these guys actually charge, so yeah, no surprise that the Fusiliers came out on top here. And on this flank it was the same, just the Prussians pursuing downhill. So, Nader, that's me, 689. 892 kills. My ally got a colossal number of kills, just ridiculous amounts of kills, especially because of his clever use and devastating use of his howitzer fire over here. And the other team performed very well. Good game to Unity and Tikiotois, as well as my ally Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you subscribe for upcoming videos. Cheers!